Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is reviewing the current season 13 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and last night's episode 4, Hellevator, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and shop our Soft Life merch down below. Grab a hoodie, grab a tote bag, live your best soft girl life. So with that, let's dive right on in. So overall, the first thing I want to talk about for last night's episode is I'm very disturbed by the dangerous narrative around Kyle not drinking. And I want to know if you guys thought the same thing that I did when hearing it. I feel like they keep conflating two issues that are separate issues. The first issue that they're talking about is, Kyle's not fun, she's on edge, she's not, being her normal fun Kyle self. And then they are equating that with Kyle not drinking. And I think that's a very, very, very dangerous narrative to conflate together, if you see what I'm saying. Because I think the fact that Kyle is being very nasty, she's clearly going through something, showing signs of maybe depression, anxiety, midlife crisis, just being really snappy and having an attitude, I don't think is because she stopped drinking. I actually think that it's a great thing she stopped drinking, because if you add alcohol to someone who is clearly going through something mentally and spiritually and emotionally, that is a ticking time bomb to explode. And I'm going to get more into that when I get to Kyle's slide. But I just wanted to preface this episode with that I was very, very, very disappointed with the dangerous narrative around drinking. It made it sound like, oh, she's having trouble in her marriage because she's not drinking. She doesn't, Dorit and Garcelle and Erica, she's not fun anymore because she's not drinking. If anybody in your life wants to put you down or leave you or walk away from you because you choose to stop drinking, wipe your hands of that person, say sayonara, and say good effing riddance. And I think it's dangerous that they are conflating these two things, because people who are struggling with drinking might think, yeah, well, I can't stop drinking, because if I stop drinking, then I'm not going to be the fun friend. I'm not going to be the cool wife. And, no one's going to want to hang out with me. My boyfriend's going to break up with me, or my girlfriend's going to leave me. I'm not going to be the life of the party anymore. I'm not going to be the easy breezy fun person anymore. So if I stop drinking, everyone's going to leave me and abandon me because I'm not going to be cool. I'm not going to be fun. So to me, I was like, this is very irresponsible and this is very, very dangerous. And to be honest with you, remember how we did the whole Vanity Fair deep dive when in my opinion, the Vanity Fair expose on Bravo was very flat, it was very boring, it didn't expose anything. But drinking was a huge thing. Everyone's being forced to drink, everybody drink and blah, 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 blah. I think actually this has been the most irresponsible, tone deaf conversation around drinking that I've ever seen on Bravo. Like, Mauricio's leaving you because you stopped drinking. None of your friends want to hang out with you because you stopped drinking. You're no longer fun. I want you to be drinking. Why aren't you drinking? You're really not drinking? She's really going for it with these mocktails. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But we'll get more into it later and all this, the slides and everything. And then I want to know what you guys think too. I'm kind of underwhelmed by this season so far, a little disappointed. It's almost like a season of boring, bitter Bettys. It's kind of flat except for Sutton. I think Sutton is kind of the only person giving life, to be honest. And I call them boring, bitter Bettys to be a little cheeky, but really, I think the problem is that all of the women, and I really mean all of them, they seem really sad. And by sad, I don't mean like, oh, you're sad, you're pathetic. I don't mean that. I mean, they seem actually sad. I know Erica is a fraud. I know she lacks empathy. Trust me, I am not an Erica defender by any means, but I think she's really sad right now. I think Dorit is sad and going through it. Kyle clearly is sad and going through it. Garcelle, I think, is really sad. Sutton is really sad. Crystal may not be sad, but she's not even really on the show. So I think that's really what I'm feeling. It's more of I'm watching all of these women who are just in very sad and lonely places in their life, whether they are single and lonely, whether they're separating from their husband and lonely, whether they are divorcing and lonely, whether they're pretending they're happily married, but obviously lonely. It just seems like they all are just really sad. And I think that's really what we're feeling. And I don't know if it means like maybe Housewives should have like a shelf life because the truth is in every human life, if you are lucky to live long enough, you're going to have seasons of sadness. You have seasons of joy, you have seasons of just being cool and everything is just sort of like normal. And then sometimes you have seasons of sadness. And I think the reason why this season feels so not dark, because it's not dark the way it was last season or the season before that. But I think why it seems so heavy and sticky is because almost all of the women are in the same season of sadness. So I want to know what you guys think, I want to know what you guys think. So, we'll see about the sadness and everything. So we'll see. Okay, now let's dive into dissecting the episode. All right, so let's get into Ding Dong Dorito. All right, do you guys notice that PK and Dorit keep shading Kyle and Mauricio? Like, what is going on there? I feel like their fake friendship, like the work is showing. Because every chance they get, even in like their cadence, even in like the way, they say stuff like, oh, when Dirt was like, yeah, I was out with Kyle, and PK is like, oh, how's that? They just seem like they were very, I don't know, but it's very shady. And even PK, when he did the whole, Dorit birthday part or not birthday party anniversary, he was like, yeah, Kyle would be shocked if Mauricio did anything for her like this. Like, I don't know what's underlining there, but there seems to be some like, I don't know if it's like a fake beef or if it's just like a frenemy situation or if something went down, if they're feeling slighted because Kyle and Mauricio kind of, cooled down their friendship with them. Because remember, Dorit was saying we haven't seen them as a couple for months. So maybe they're feeling some type of way. If you are friends with a couple and then that couple kind of pulls back, maybe they're feeling some type of way. Who knows? But I do say that I actually really do like Mauricio and PK's friendship and then them bonding over their failing marriages. Yikes, 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 insane. Like, I don't know, but I do like Mauricio and PK. I do. And quiet as it's kept, I actually like PK. I know he's a fraudster. I know he's a grifter. I know he's a scammer, but I like him. I like PK. He's kind of a moment, he's always good comical relief. Would I be friends with him? Would I trust him with my purse? No. Would I go into business with him? Absolutely not. But he's a moment. He's a little bit of reprieve from all the other heaviness, right? So let's get into Ding Dong Dorit being horrible for still making Garcelle pain about her. Like, when she was talking to Erica, she still couldn't just take accountability and be like, yeah, you know what? I was wrong. I was hijacking Garcelle's moment to be vulnerable and to talk. She's like, well, she can tell us how she feels, but like, where is that coming from? Like, her attitude, I don't know what it is, but Dorit's attitude around Garcelle is pretty disgusting. It's very, I don't even know what the word is, but it rubs me the wrong way. The way Dorit talks about Garcelle, the way she talks to Garcelle, very disrespectful. She talks to Garcelle in a very disrespectful way. And I really don't like it. I really, really don't. And Dorit, stop playing. Remember when she was like, oh my gosh, I would like Lorena Bob at PK if he cheated on me. Girl, bye. We all know PK been cheating on you. Didn't they say there was a woman in his car when he got the DUI? Isn't he allegedly living in Beverly Hills hotel separately? Do you think he's spending every night in those hotels by himself? Highly doubtful. And then weren't you also really upset about PK, always being in London? You think he's in London by himself? Probably not. So, girl, bye. You know that PK has probably cheated on you multiple times. So stop acting like you would be so clutched by pearls. I can't believe it. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Okay. Now, again, back to Dorit and Garcelle. In the bus, remember when right after the whole elevator situation, Sutton's in the bus, everybody's in the bus. Why did Dorit get out of her seat, fling herself over to Sutton? And Sutton was like, "Don't touch me." And then when Garcelle was just talking normally, Dorit kind of got in Garcelle's face, was like, "I don't want to yell at you." And Garcelle's like, I'm talking. Like, boo boo, Dorit, you're the one who physically got up out of your seat and put your physical body in front of Garcelle's face right next to Sutton. Why did you get out of your seat? Like, I don't know why you felt the need to get out of your seat. And don't say you were trying to comfort Sutton, because you weren't. You were still putting her down. You were still trying to come at her. And then you tried to come at Garcelle. So because you are so nasty, Dorit, and because you are so mean to people, Dorit, I'm going to share a little article about signs that you and PK are secretly broke. Since you have all the smoke for everybody else's situation, let's talk about your situation, boo-boo. Okay. So this article is all about PK and Dorit being secretly broke. And this is from Reality Tees. And if you guys are just coming in, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So here we go. Dorit and PK have had a difficult past few years, as aired on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Their marriage has hit a lull. This comes on the heels of two of their homes being robbed within the course of 5 years. Allegedly. The perpetrators of the first robbery were the only ones caught, while the second house's break-in remains unsolved. That's the one we were talking about. That's the one we did the deep dive on. That's the one that still remains unsolved. Because in my personal opinion, I think that was the robbery that PK staged in order to get the insurance money to get out of all of his gambling debts. Okay. Similarly, Dorit just had $10,000 stolen from her while shopping. Though on this, Dorit's ever-changing story feels shady at best. Again, we talked about this and did a deeper dive. I think that's a lie. I think the $10,000 number was very convenient, so it would be flagged. And then also, who carries $10,000 in cash in their bag while they're shopping with a cart? Doesn't make any sense. First, she said she was shopping for Christmas gifts. And then when she was called out that it didn't make any sense that she would have $10,000 in cash at a store, why wouldn't you use a credit card or a debit card, right? Or Apple Pay or Google Pay or Afterpay or whatever? Nobody uses that amount of cash anymore. Then her story changed to, oh, I got the cash out because I wanted to do bonuses for the staff. Well, if you wanted to do cash for bonuses for the staff, why didn't you get the cash and then go home? None of it makes sense. And then why didn't you say that in the first place? Girl, you lying. You conveniently had a new story when you got called out. Okay? Okay. So Dorit and PK owe a lot of money. Recently, rumors on Dorit and PK's debt swirled online. To explain, the U.S. Sun first reported that PK had paid off a $2.27 million debt to the Bellagio Casino back in 2022. Remember, they were able to pay that debt off because they got the insurance money. But don't get too excited. There are other financial obligations waiting in the wings, also needing to be paid. As for one, court documents show that Dorit paid off a $635,000 IRS tax lien from her and PK's 2015 taxes. That said, a certificate of release for the federal lien cleared only herself of this debt, not PK. Likewise, their 2017 and 2018 taxes also have debts attached which have not yet been paid. In fact, a tax lien that was filed in 2021 shows that Dorit still has an outstanding balance of $90,000 owed to Uncle Sam. Now, the reason why I think she paid that $635,000 IRS tax lien and it was only her name cleared, I bet you that was her Bravo money. And I bet you she was like, if I have to pay this with my Bravo money, I'm only clearing myself, not you. You see what I'm saying? Okay. PK has even bigger debts to fry. Shockingly, court documents show that he still owes a combined total of $986 and $800,000. Wait, 900. This is so much, you guys. $986,000. So that's almost $1 million to the IRS. Ouch. These debts to the state of California hail from PK's 2014 and 2016 taxes. With this much money owed, Dorit and PK's ability to live as largely as before will be reduced. Showings of this very thing are actually quietly creeping in on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13. These signs lead us to believe that the two are secretly going broke. I don't think they're secretly going broke. I think they are very obviously broke. Okay? Let's move on to number 2. Dorit ditched her signature platinum locks. So Dorit loves fashion and she isn't afraid to go bold with her appearances. Therefore, Dorit looks have greatly changed over the years. As we know, she's gotten multiple plastic surgeries, all of that stuff going on. I'm not trying to shame her, but lip injections, nose job, cheek injections, a little bit of a chin. She also has lost a ton of weight from how much she used to weigh before. And I'm obviously not weight shaming anybody. We're just talking about her appearance changes. Okay. Her hairstyles have gone from big and bold to sleek and sexy. Her hair color, however, has remained varying shades of light blonde. But this season on Bravo, Dorit entered into it with much darker locks than we've ever seen. Though we have to give her some love as it looks great. Does it? You let me know. Do you prefer her blonde or brunette? I prefer her blonde, but that's just me. To backtrack, when blonde is not someone's natural color, a lot of money is needed to obtain and maintain the perfect shade. To start, a hairstylist needs to do a double process, also known as a bleach and tone. Moreover, Dorit's platinum shade is a high maintenance color with additional root touch-ups required every few weeks. In short, it costs a lot of money to maintain Dorit's old head of hair. Now she's a full-blown brunette. To us, this looks like a sign that her glam money is drying up. Speaking of that glam money drying up, downsizing, Dorit has ditched her Glam Squad. When Erica Jane entered the scene in season 6, she was joined by her Glam Squad at every turn. On air, she admitted that the cost of her upkeep totaled $40,000 each month, which, yikes. In turn, Ding Dong Dorit followed suit, hiring her own Glam Squad for her travels and her local showings with the cast. Kyle Richards even yelled at Dorit in season 9 over this matter, as Dorit had spent so much time getting ready she was late for a Malibu wellness retreat. Don't come in your fake workout clothes when you're not going to effing work out. I think it's effing weird, okay? Kyle screamed. I have a life, Kyle, Dorit yelled back, throwing the shade we've all come to know and love. The editors then showed Dorit's Instagram, where she had posted pictures of her look from when she was, quote, running late. Well, this season, Dorit has passed on her Glam Squad. Did you notice that she didn't have her own Glam Squad for her birthday? Like PK had to put everything together, and then also with the Vegas trip, she also did not come with Glam Squad. They've already gone on a retreat and taken a trip to Vegas, and still her looks all have been her own doing. We're actually glad that she's toning it all down, as life is too short to waste in a chair, but this is still just another sign that she and PK are broke. Okay, and now the last sign, you guys, is this one. PK rented Dorit's anniversary necklace, and he hosted her whole anniversary dinner and moment in the same hotel he's allegedly living in. So currently, Dorit and PK are working on their marriage. So in episode 2, PK arranged an anniversary surprise for his wife. This surprise included a cameo from the band Berlin, a dress, a Glam Squad, a meal, and a $5 million necklace. Career-wise, PK manages several artists. This is just us going out on a limb, but as for Berlin's guest appearance, it's possible that their fee was waived in exchange for airtime and or a friendship with PK. But as we cannot be sure, we'll just stick to the facts regarding the necklace, which was just on loan. Like, why didn't he give her a gift she could actually keep? You see what I'm saying? And then he did the whole dinner, the whole everything. I think it was the Beverly Hills Hotel or the Beverly Hilton, one of the two. Isn't that the same hotel he's allegedly living in? So if you're already a guest, you get access to all of the amenities, to the extra space, to the extra rooms, to the dinners, all of that. So it's not like he actually did anything extra for her. While PK, we'll give PK credit as we found this to be a sweet anniversary experience overall, but this is still a sign that they are going broke. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that these are concrete signs that, PK and Dorit are going broke, or is this just news we already know? Yikes. All right. Now be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And let's move on to Miss Erica Jane. All right. So it's obvious that Erica is just pretending to be Zen. And I think the whole reason why she's pretending to be like Zen and, giving up fighting for Lent and she's a whole new Erica is because she doesn't want to give the feds any more footage to use against her in court. She finally admitted in this episode that she's now worried about her freedom. And we said this a couple of lives ago. Remember when I said the reason why Erica is now turning a new leaf and, trying to be nicer to people and not going off the deep end? I was like, it's because she's now actually shook. And she admitted that tonight or last night on the episode about her freedom. She was going buck wild last season because she wasn't actually worried. She thought, yeah, they have all these lawsuits, but they're not going to come after me. But once Tom Girardi got indicted, once everybody around him got indicted, then I think she got shook. And I think that's the real reason why she's trying to act all cool and humbled now. Girl, bye. I'm also really tired of Erica lying about the demise of her marriage with Tom. She keeps trying to be like, he's so mean and it was so awful. And like, it's over when you resent the person. Girl, you and Tom were just as in cahoots, just as in love as ever up until the day everything hit the fan. If you and Tom are so resentful, if it was so toxic, if the marriage was so over, why is he still funding your life? We know that for a fact. He had his friends with their little, contingency accounts funneling money to Erica, money that she still has access to. That's why all of his friends are, giving Erica money. I don't think it's out of their pocket. I think it's money that Tom set up in case he ever went down. Erica would have access to this money. And these are his friends that he's been doing fraud and shady stuff with. I don't think these men are just giving Erica money out of the kindness of their hearts. I think it's from Tom's slush fund. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. Also, why are you still in communication? And why are you still there for him when he got indicted? Also, I'm really tired of this narrative about Erica feeling like she's so destitute and, building back her life. Like, girl, stop. We still know that you have all this money to hidden, all this access to hidden money. You're living in a multi-million dollar house. You still have glam. You're doing a residency in Las Vegas. You have designer clothes. You have money for Ozempic. You know, you have all paintings and everything. You have more now after all of this has, quote, happened to you than 99.9% of the rest of the freaking world. You still have more money, more privilege, more access, more things than the majority of the people on this planet. So, Erica, when you have to actually worry about where your next meal is coming from, not having a car to drive to work, not knowing, not having a safe home to live in. There are people right now living in tents, living on the street, living in shelters with their children. So until you are at that, Erica, you just need to shut the hell up because everything you have in your life is stolen. And it makes me sick watching the other women be like, oh, well, Erica, yeah, you're just so strong. Like, I can't believe it. Yeah, and like, do you think you'll get it back? And like, what? Like, Garcelle, I was like, Garcelle, are you drinking this BS Kool-Aid? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Like, stop. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you still are having a lavish lifestyle. Erica's life, literally in this current moment, is more spectacular and opulent than the majority of the people on our planet will ever experience. And she has the audacity to play victim when there are still real victims out there, right? It's a mess. Also, Erica's true evilness showed when she tried to call Sutton out at the elevator. And then when she said it was an act of God in her confessional. Keep God's name out of your mouth, Erica. God doesn't claim you. Keep his name out your mouth. God gave me this moment to be evil to somebody. Shut up, Erica. Shut up. It was completely unnecessary and she hasn't changed and her mask slipped. 100%. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Your mask slipped. You're still the same person. You're still doing these very scripted monologues. You're still doing the fake tears. You're still playing like you're a victim in this. You're not a victim in this at all. You're still the villain and you're still evil and nobody is, can't believe people are falling for this act. Stop. All right, now let's go to our girl Sutton. So I love seeing Sutton let loose and ride the bull and all of that. And I also felt really bad for her when Erica threw her under the bus at the elevators with the dancers. Like, it was no need to go that hard and everything. And I agree, Miss T. I agree 100%. Erica set the elevator up. They had a private suite. She planned it. I agree. That was 100% planned. And she just miraculously opened the elevators up and they're there. That's why I'm saying Erica is still evil and manipulative and conniving. Erica couldn't just outright go after Sutton, but if a miraculous act of God and they just happened to be in the elevator, then she could go in on her. And this is the thing. Did Sutton overreact at Magic Mike? Sure. She was in her feelings. She got triggered and she did a little bit of the most. But if we're being honest, the person who escalated that situation was Kyle. Garcelle was talking to Sutton calmly. Sutton was trying to explain what was going on with her. Kyle's the one who came out. Sutton, it's about the pants. And Kyle is the one that called Sutton a bitch first. Before Sutton called her one, Kyle called her one first. And then Kyle was the one who went back and was like, oh, Sutton's upset. She's mad about the pants, blah, 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 reporting the story half back. That's why Sutton was getting in Kyle's butt at the end of the episode. So did Sutton overreact? Yes, she did. But who escalated the situation and stirred the pot was Kyle. And then also, Sutton took accountability. She said, yeah, I overreacted. Yeah, I did too much. I'm sorry. I feel bad. But then how come they kept bringing it up? Why didn't they just let it go? Why were they still talking about it on last night's episode? If Sutton overreacted so horribly, but she did take accountability and apologized, why won't you just let it go? They kept bringing it up. Erica kept bringing it up. Ding Dong Dorit kept bringing it up. Kyle kept bringing it up. Let it go. Or are you happy that Sutton overreacted, so now you have something to run with? I'm not saying Sutton handled the situation perfectly. She didn't, but she's a human being. We all pop off sometimes. We all get in our feelings sometimes, and we don't always act 100% appropriately and, emotionally intelligent at all times. We're humans, we don't. She took accountability and she apologized, and the women would not let it go. They're like a dog with a bone. So that's kind of where I land on that. Now, I'm really proud of Sutton for standing up for herself against Kyle and Erica. Her Erica impersonation was hilarious. I loved how she looked at Kyle and she's like, don't talk like that to me. And I loved when she was in the confessional and she was like, look, I realize Kyle is not my true friend and she will never have my back. Exactly. Kyle is not your true friend and she will never have your back. In fact, she's sending Anne-Marie. Well, she's sending Anne-Marie after what's her face? Crystal. But the reason why I think Kyle has an issue with Sutton is, one, I think she's jealous of Sutton's money. And two, I think she's jealous that Sutton and Kathy are still such good friends. Because remember in episode 1 of the season, Kyle was complaining about it. She was like, yeah, well, Kathy throws really good parties. And that's why Sutton wants to be friends with her. No, Kathy is just a cool, normal, fun person. She's a vibe. And Kyle, you're not. You're a weirdo. You're all over the place. You're freaking unhinged. And who would want to be friends with you when you act like this? Because a lot of the Magic Mike drama was because Kyle escalated the situation. She added fuel to the fire. And go back and watch, because that's what happened. It's crazy. And isn't overreacting kind of a part of being a housewife? Look, everyone's looking for moments. Everybody's looking for a beat. And then again, like I said before, why did Dorit get up and move next to her on the bus? Like, please stay in your seat. And I would be annoyed too. And I would be like, Sutton, don't touch me. Why does everybody want to put their hands on Sutton? Dorit tried to put her hands on her in the bus. And Sutton was like, don't touch me. And then remember Kyle last season when she was shaking Sutton at Garcelle's birthday party? Kyle had her hands all over Sutton, over freaking Diana Jenkins. Girl, bye. I just loved Sutton. I love Sutton. She looked at her, she's like, don't talk to me like that. And she goes, name them. I was like, Sutton, I am obsessed with you. Obsessed. All right, now let's move on to our girl, Garcelle. Like I said, I do love Garcelle and Sutton's friendship, but I will say this. I'm kind of side-eyeing Garcelle a scotch because I feel like she does kind of jab at Sutton too much. And when she's at, the lunch with Erica, she kind of has Sutton's back, but like kind of not. And then in the confessional, she's like, well, I don't really need to defend Sutton all the time. She can fight her own battles. But then Garcelle expects Sutton to always defend her and to be on her side. So, because she complained about it last season at the reunion, like, I wish Sutton had my back more and she spoke up for me more. But now you're saying she can fight her own battles and you don't need to defend her all the time. So I kind of feel like, I don't know. I felt some type of way about it. Like, I think that you can have your friends back without being, I don't know, like, how do I want to say this? Like, I feel like Garcelle and Sutton can defend each other without enabling each other and without blindly defending each other. Like, I don't think they have to blindly defend each other. But I'm kind of looking at Garcelle a little bit squinty, where I'm like, you can let Sutton be Sutton and let her react how she reacts. Not that you have to blindly defend her, but like, Erica is not your friend, Garcelle. Dorit is not your friend. Crystal is your friend when it's convenient for her. Kyle isn't your friend. So you might want to make sure you're placing your bets on the right horse. Because if there's anybody on that cast that is going to actually ever hold you down, it's going to be Sutton. So just be careful with that, like, kind of jabby at Sutton stuff. And again, like the other episode, I don't think Garcelle meant it in a mean way, but Garcelle was the one who started the whole going after Sutton because Sutton could never get a second date and trying to have an intervention with her and kind of calling her out and almost like shaming her for it, right? And I don't think Garcelle had any ill intentions, but if I was Sutton, I would feel some type of way. My feelings would be hurt. Like, that doesn't feel good when the entire group of girls are laughing at you because, like, you can't get a man, you can't keep a man, and you can't get a second date, and you're weird and you're awkward, and we gotta, what you wear. They're judging what you wear on these dates. They're judging, how you text the guy. Like, I would be sad. My feelings would be hurt if that was me. I would be like, what the F? Like, you guys, calm down. It never feels good when an entire group is criticizing you about anything in your life. It just doesn't feel good. And I don't think Garcelle meant anything by it, but she did start it. So we'll see what happens with that. But with that being said, I do love Garcelle. I do love Sutton. I love their friendship. I love that she made sure to vindicate her son Oliver because of the whole Rachel kiss. I am so over and dead with Scandival. Like, I don't even know if I'm watching the new season of Vanderpump Rules. I don't want to see Ariana, to be perfectly honest with you. And everybody else, who cares? Like, I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. Like, what is there to watch? We've seen it all in social media. We'll see. Yes, and I also don't like Garcelle and Dorit and Erica forcing this Kyle needs to drink in order to be, fun narrative. Being like, oh, she's really just doing the mocktails and I want the old Kyle back. And I said this at the beginning of the video, but I think it's very dangerous that they keep equating and conflating Kyle's problematic crisis personality now with her not drinking. They are two completely separate situations. They're correlated, but they're not related. They're separate. And it sends a very dangerous message to people who may be struggling with their alcohol consumption and the people out there who think, well, if I actually stop drinking, my friends are going to think I'm boring. No one's going to want to hang out with me. My husband's going to leave me. It's a very, very dangerous message, and it's wrong. It's wrong. Now, she was messy as hell for bringing up the monogamy and cheating question, but I love it. And I also think that was clearly a producer-planted question. Every time they're on a table and they have these, quote, games to play, we all know the producers printed up the questions on the game cards. And that's another thing about this season. It's feeling heavily produced. Heavily produced. You know what I'm saying? Heavily produced. And clearly that was a producer-planted question because of the Kyle, not just Mauricio cheating on Kyle rumors, but Kyle cheating on Mauricio. How come that's not being questioned? Everyone's talking about the men cheating, but at this point in time, Kyle is all over the blogs, basically tonguing down Morgan. So why aren't they bringing that up? Because if you want to question whether or not your husband's cheated, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We need to talk about, Kyle, are you cheating? Just because Morgan is a woman doesn't mean it's not cheating. You know how we roll over here. Love is love. Love is love. Gay, straight, bi, tri, whatever. We're all human beings and love is love. So if it's with a man or a woman or a donkey, it's still cheating. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. I don't know. Garcelle, I hope you're not drinking the Erica Kool-Aid too much. Now, this is the thing. Do I think Erica likes Garcelle? I actually do. And I've said this forever. I do think that Erica wanted to be friends with Garcelle, but the problem was Lisa Rinna. Her big boss, Lisa Rinna, was never going to have it. And now that Lisa Rinna is gone, I do think Erica is trying to form a friendship with Garcelle. But with that being said, Erica is a snake. She's a scorpion. You know, and it's like that tale when like the frog and the scorpion go across the pond, and the scorpion's like, you know, I won't bite you. I won't bite you because if I bite you, if I won't sting you, because if I sting you, then we'll both die. And the frog's like, okay, scorpion, come on my back. And the frog's like taking the scorpion across the lake, and then zing, the scorpion stings the frog, and the frog is like, why? Why did you sting me? And the scorpion says, it's my nature. That is freaking people like Erica Jane. It is simply their nature to betray people, to be frauds, to be evil, to, you know, cut anybody else's head off to get what they want. So keep playing around with Erica if you want to, Garcelle, and you're gonna mess around and find out. But if you messed up your friendship with Sutton to be friends with Erica, I'm looking at you real sideways and crazy. But I do really like you, and I hope that's not what's going on. But Erica is nobody's friend ever. She told us she doesn't give a damn about anybody but herself, and she meant that. She meant that. So watch your back, Garcelle. Watch your back. Don't fall for the okie doke. All right, now let's get to Crystal. Crystal is actually fun this season, but production is definitely editing her out. Like, Crystal wasn't even a friend of so far. She's kind of like a bloop character. Her storyline is just asking the other ladies about their lives. Like, that's all Crystal does, is ask other ladies about what's going on with their stories. Like, they did Crystal so dirty. I don't know who Crystal pissed off in production. I don't know what is going on, but it is just, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And that's really all I have to say about Crystal, because that's all we got. It was her birthday. Okay. She had lunch with what's her face? Who did she? I don't even remember who she had lunch with. Erica, maybe? Justice for Crystal. Justice for Crystal. Anne-Marie will come along, and she's going to be a plant by Kyle, and she'll start going after her. Maybe then they'll show Crystal more, but as of now, they're kind of playing the hell out of her, okay? Now let's go to Kyle. Oh, girl. Kyle is unhinged and out of control. She is projecting all of her inner anger and frustration onto Sutton and everybody else around her. And this is the thing. If you are angry at everyone, then the problem is you. If you're angry at your husband, angry at your friends, angry at, you know, a freaking hole in the wall, you are just angry. And Kyle needs some deep therapy. I mean, some deep therapy. She needs to deal with her childhood trauma. She needs to deal with the trauma of her friend passing away. She needs to deal with just a lot of stuff, her own identity crisis going on here, you know? And I never thought I would say this, but I feel bad for Mauricio, because Kyle is just so blatantly mean to him and disrespectful. And at the end of the day, I'm no Mauricio fan, but girl, come on. Come on. You had me over here rooting for Mauricio. I think he's a bit clueless as to why you are so angry with him, because I don't think it has anything to do with cheating. I really don't. I think it has nothing to do with cheating. And I said this before. And then this episode confirmed our theory, because a lot of the theories we've been talking about are now being confirmed. I'll jump to that, okay? So remember over the summer, I said that the reason why Kyle is going so crazy and separating and doing all the most for Mauricio is because after her friend died, he was too focused on work and everything else, and he was not there to support her emotionally. And isn't that exactly what she said tonight? Everything's being confirmed now. You know, and the reason why I say that it's not about the cheating, and I think Kyle is lying through her teeth, because she was the wife who said, just don't let me find out about it. Just don't embarrass me. You know, you don't have cheating allegations that your husband is cheating on you and that you've been cheating on him, because there's been allegations of that too for over a decade. And then all of a sudden now that's the reason why you're divorcing. I don't think so. I don't think it has anything to do with infidelity. I do think that the rumors that he was cheating with Dorit was a issue, was a pain point You know what I mean? Was one of the nails in the coffin, was a straw on the Campbell's back, but I don't think that cheating in and of itself is why all of this is going down. I think Kyle cracked a bit. I do. That's why she's lost all the weight. That's why she's pretending to be in a lesbian relationship. That's why she has, 5, 6, 7, 8 tattoos. That's why she's popping off at Mauricio. That's why she's popping off at Sutton. That's why she's popping off at Dorit. Their friendship is obviously very strained and forced and phony. To me, Dorit and Kyle, that friendship is over and they're just pretending. I don't see any genuine, real friendship between them anymore. It's all very fake, all very surface and all of that stuff, right? I think she's having a big crisis for a lot of things, getting exposed last season, the world taking Kathy's side, people seeing Kyle for who she really is, everything, you know what I mean? And then I think, so I do think she's going through all that. And like I said before, I think the reason she's so angry at Mauricio is because he was just checked out. And unfortunately, I think he still doesn't get, I still think he doesn't even get it, that's why she's so mad at him. That literally all she wants is for him to prioritize her, to make time. Like, I bet you if Mauricio was like, I'm going to take a week off of work, 2 weeks off of work, I'm going to cancel everything. And I just want to take you, Kyle, somewhere and just totally pay attention to you and listen to you and be there for you. That would probably save their marriage right there. But Mauricio is just completely, and I'm not excusing this because to me, it's the clearest thing in the world. I think he's still kind of in the dark as to what's going on. And I don't know how he is, but she clearly said it last night. And I've been saying that since last summer or this summer, whenever the hell this happened. Okay. Now let's talk about her drinking. I think the fact that Kyle is not drinking is fantastic and amazing. I think if you combined where Kyle is currently mentally and emotionally and spiritually and even physically, because she lost all the weight, adding drinking to that would be horrible. Horrible. When you're going through anxiety, when you're going through depression, when you're going through a crisis, when you're going through emotional instability, the last thing you need to do is add alcohol to that fire. The last thing you need to do is add alcohol to that fire. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's really like as much as we're seeing Kyle pop off now, imagine her drunk. Imagine her blacked out. So I think she's doing the right thing by not drinking. And I feel like, and I want to say this in a very sensitive, respectful way. I love to clown Kyle. I don't dislike her or hate her by any. Some people are like, why do you hate Kyle? I don't hate Kyle. I don't hate anybody. This is for fun and a good kiki. So as much as I love to clown Kyle, it did occur to me, and this made my heart break when I kind of clicked for me. When she was saying, I need to be clear right now. I really need to be clear. It made me wonder if she has ever had the same thoughts that her friend has had. Because my gut is saying, again, I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm not a doctor. I don't know Kyle or her friend who unfortunately passed away. This is just a gut feeling I have. I have a gut feeling that her friend probably was under the influence, probably very drunk, maybe some other things going on. Maybe her friend was going through her own marriage problems. Maybe there's some infidelity in that marriage. She was already had a history of struggling with her mental health. And maybe her friend was in a very similar position of drinking too much in an unhappy marriage. And just those thoughts, unfortunately, got the better of her. Because as we know, Kyle's friend, unfortunately, ended up no longer being with her by her own hand. And when Kyle said, I need to be clear right now, what came up for me was, has she had those same thoughts? And is that why she's now sort of not drinking and really focusing on her health and having this sort of like hyper setting boundaries and hyper, standing up for herself and I can do whatever I want. Because a lot of times when people start to heal or they start to reevaluate their lives, they do become sort of hyper vigilant, which we see with her. I can do whatever I want, Mauricio. Like, you can't tell me what to do. It's my body and blah blah blah, and living at extremes, all of that stuff. When they start on that journey, they become hyper focused. They do extremes and they're hyper vigilant. Like, I'm gonna tell you my boundaries. So it occurred to me, I was like, I wonder if she's trying to save herself in some way, you know? And so I don't know, I got shooketh and I got goosebumps. And you know what? I'm going to add to the description box down below. If anybody is struggling or if anybody has ever had those thoughts, know that those thoughts are not the truth of who you are, and know that there is help. So I'm going to add I don't care if this demonetizes this video. I'm going to add a suicide hotline number to the description box of this video. So if anybody listening, if you've ever had these thoughts or these feelings, know that you're not alone. Know that help is out there. And I'm going to add the phone number to the hotline down below if anybody needs support or help. Because I feel like a lot of Kyle's rebellion, and it has to do with her trying to save herself with everything that happened. And then also when Dorit was talking to Kyle and was saying, oh, not drinking and, the working out, are you trying to get a sense of control? And I said that before when I said, to me, it's been very clear that Kyle has kind of cracked a bit and is kind of having this identity crisis, midlife crisis, all of that stuff. And all the and also, like, I called it attention seeking behavior, but also with like losing all of the weight and the not drinking and the working out and the boundaries, that is also another way to get control. Because a lot of people with disordered eating, it's about control. They feel that whether they overeat or undereat, they feel like they don't have control in any other aspect of their life. But the one thing they can control is what they eat or what they don't eat. And so they try to have this sense of control with their bodies, right? So I agree with Dorit with that. So I do think that Kyle is kind of doing all of these things. They're a big cry for help. A big cry for help. I'm not saying she has had these thoughts. I don't know her personally, but that's just what came up for me. Because when you saw her face when she was like, I need to be clear right now, it just in my gut, I was like, she's had those thoughts too, either before her friend or after her friend. And I think that maybe her and her friend were maybe in similar situations and her friend succumbed to it. So that's kind of where I landed on that. So, oof. Kyle. Listen, I clowned the hell out of you, Kyle, but I do want you to be healthy. I do want you to be happy. I do want you to be okay. So as much as I clown you, I am sending you a lot of love, a big hug, and, get the support and love that you need, whatever that actually looks like. All right, you guys. So that was kind of my recap and review of last night's episode. I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and talk with me. And then I'm going to take some of your candy cane questions and comments. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Let's see here. I want to get that other slide up. Okay. All right. Let's take your candy cane questions and comments. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Hi, Amy. Amy says, happy Thursday, sweetheart. Happy Thursday to you, sweetie. Hey, Chocolate Chunks. Thank you so much for being a channel member. I really appreciate your support. It says, hey, Candy. Hey, Candy Canes. I didn't like how Kyle was being treated about not drinking anymore either. It's like it takes a lot of willpower in the presence of alcohol to stay sober once you quit. I agree. 100%, Chocolate. I don't think they're taking her sobriety seriously. I agree. And I think that I think they're putting out a very dangerous narrative around not drinking, So, Amy says, agree, Candy. I didn't like it either. Same. They should be more supportive of her decision to stop drinking. They should applaud her for taking care of herself. 100%. 100%. Barbara says, hey, the time for the live said 5:15. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, you guys. So it was slated for 5 o'clock because I'm trying to go live every day at 5 Eastern time, 2 o'clock West Coast time, but I had to make my mom dinner. So I pushed, because I'm home for the holidays. So I pushed it back 15 minutes, but then I got her dinner ready early. So then I just started. So sorry about that. Amy says, I know, I saw that too. Oh, well, sorry, you guys. I ended up doing her dinner a little bit early. Barbara said, at Amy, I was a bit annoyed. I missed a lot. Oh no, watch the replay. Replay gang. Amy says, you didn't miss much, Barbara. Hey, Food D. How are you, sweetheart? Queen says, hey, everyone. Barbara says, thank you. Shout out to Miss T, my beautiful mod. Thank you for holding me down. Queen says, so happy to be here with you all after Beverly Hills Day. Yes, happy Beverly Hills Day. Queen says, hi, Miss T. Amy says, Dorit is doing the card trick thing. Look over there, not over here. Exactly. Exactly. Dorit, this is the thing, Dorit. Every time I start to like you, you do something that just makes me like disgusted by you. The way you talk to Garcelle, you really need to check yourself, Dorit. You really do. It's okay to not like her. It's okay to shade her. But it's the tone that you use with her that is very dismissive and diminutive that I don't like. You don't use that tone with anybody else. Girl, bye. Miss T, it's the bullet points for me. Yeah. So you guys are saying you like the new format. I like the new format too. I think it's easy with like the bullet points and going through each of the girls. It just makes it easier. Hey, Miss D. Queen says, I think that's because of the rumors about Mo and Dorit. Exactly. Like, why would I want to hang out with a couple when the entire world thinks that my husband is having sex with my friend? I don't want to do double dates. I don't want to see you in a bikini next to my husband. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Queen says, I love Mo and PK's relationship. Always have. Me too. Me too. They are like some shady old geezers, and I'm so here for it. You know, it's almost how I like Gordon from Potomac. It's kind of how I like PK. And then PK and Mauricio's a relationship by default. Thank you, Miss T. That's right, you guys. If you're having fun, hit like and subscribe. Barbara says, Erica did not change. Nobody can change being in therapy for this little bit of time. It takes years to change. You know what? Ain't that the truth, Barbara? She hasn't changed. She's just pretending because she doesn't want the feds to get any more footage of her. Chocolate Chunk says, I would never thought I would hear Candy say, I like PK. I do like him. He's a scammer. He's a fraudster, but I like him. He's a moment, you know. He's a bit of a moment. Queen says, hit the like for your channel. That's right, guys. Barbara said, Erica would be a whole different person if her buddy Lisa was still on the show. That part. Actually, thank you for bringing that up, Barbara. That's a really great point. If Lisa Rinna was still on the show, I agree. There would be a very different Erica. Erica now is sort of like eating crow. I also think she's doing that because you know how they say, if no one will film with you, then you can't be on the show anymore. So I think that Erica knew she had to get allies because she wouldn't have anybody to film with without, you know, her big boss, Lisa Rinna, around. Queen says, hey, Chocolate Chunks. Hey, Tay-Tay, what's up, sweetheart? Tay-Tay says, Dorit, stay in your lane. Amy says, don't trust PK or Dorit with your purse. It would get stolen. It really would. They would steal my purse and then do an insurance claim on my purse. Queen says, Dorit is very different this season. Right? Like, Dorit. Ugh. Queen says, I hate to read too much into it because it's also fueled and curated by production. That's true. Production is very much producing. Amy says, I agree, Queen. Miss T says, Dorit talks down to Garcelle, very passive-aggressive. 100%. 100%. Queen says, they are so limited on what they will talk about. Yeah, it seems very, like, and even in this episode, like, it's too scripted now. It's too obvious. And so there's no authenticity. Like in this season, in this episode, all the girls just sort of paired off to have very storyline driven conversations about the obvious. Like none of it seemed real. Even Garcelle and Sutton when they're on the gondola. You know, that to me, I was like, I usually love these two, but it seems just very scripted. You know, Kyle and Dorit, they're gonna go talk about this, and then Erica and Crystal, they're gonna go talk about this, and it was just like, what is going on? It just seemed very, very weird to me. Queen says Dorit talks down to everyone. Miss T says Dorit always has to rub on people in an argument. That's so annoying. Boo boo, baby. Exactly. Miss Barbara says she does, and she goes after Kyle every season. She really does. She goes after Garcelle every season. She really does. Amy says, yes, Miss T, she does. I would tell her to stop too. Amy says those numbers are mind-blowing. How? Oh my gosh. I know. Can you imagine being in the debt that PK and Dorit are in? Yikes. Kyle might be able to imagine it because Mauricio has all of those lawsuits against him. Amy says, LOL, did you add the caption on her purse? No, that was really her purse. I think you're referring to this where it says cash inside. Oh wait, maybe I didn't add the caption. Whoever did this photo did. Oh my god, I love it. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. All right. Amy says PK Bubba Bubbas. Amy says, oh, Erica, she's trying so hard to be seen as good, but her nasty side could only be hidden for so long. The elevator scene was clearly building up. She was already picking on Sutton about riding the bull. Yeah, she can only fake the funk for so long, but at some point, the mask always falls. Hey, Aileen. She goes, at this point, it's not about taking sides. The truth is the truth. Even Garcelle agrees that Sutton overreacted. No, I agree. I do think Sutton did overreact, but I think that Kyle escalated it, and I think the women couldn't let it go. You know what I mean? And then also, like, Sutton needs moments. Like, all the women needs moments. So I agree with you. She did overreact, but the aftermath didn't need to be what it was, you know? Amy says, at Eileen, she for sure overreacted, but the others were like a dog with a bone. They couldn't let it go even after she apologized. Exactly. I agree. Latasky says, at Amy, so true about the elevator scene, her mask clip for sure in that scene. And I bet it was, I bet Erica, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Orchestrated it. Like she set it up. You know what I mean? Natasha says she apparently was involved in a Vegas guy, and I think that's who got her the gig there. Yeah. They were saying she was either involved with a Vegas guy or it was supposed to be one of Tom Girardi's like old friends. Either way you slice it. Do I think Erica is doing something shady, whether still having access to the victim's money or, you know, patting the puss for some money? Hey, I'm not saying it's true, but I don't know. Just everybody has their own opinions on it. Missy says Erica's really going through it. Dusky says, yep, Erica is going through it. It not. Exactly. Amy says, hey, Natasky, hey, Chocolate Chunks, hey, Barbara, hey, Queen, love you all. I love you all, too. That says, God says, depart from me, I don't know you. Yeah, Erica, keep God's name out your mouth. Like, please. Miss T says, Erica, the elevator, they had a private suite. She planned it. Exactly. Amy says, hey, Miss T, love you too. Chocolate Chunk says, hey, love. Tay says, name them. I love Sutton. Sutton, honestly, she's the queen so far. She really, 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 really is. Chocolate Chunk says, God, I don't know her. Oh, Amy, it says that your device is not connected. You'll need to connect your mic and cam. So connect your mic and cam so you can come up. Amy says, Natasky, ha ha ha. Miss T is laughing. Amy says, hey, Tay. Natasky says, Kyle is always rushing to investigate and go gasoline on a fire. Exactly. Amy says, I feel bad for Sutton. Miss T says, Sutton was upset she didn't get picked, but all the ladies made it worse. Yes. Sutton she was in her feelings, and I get it. I would be too. Miss T, they love watching Sutton unravel. They do. Natasky says, Sutton had a moment, and Kyle once again had to exploit it. Yep, 100%. They need to let the mouse go. Exactly. Amy says, I generally think Sutton showed her butt, but they piled on her. Natasky says, finally. Tay says, Kyle doesn't care about Sutton. No, not in the slightest. Natasky says, I love how she shaded them and she was worried all of her implants would fall out. All of their implants would fall out. Me too. Amy says, you're right, Tay. Miss T says, Sutton said, name it, tell me when. I know. Hey, Amy, you want to share, sweetheart?
Hey, sweetie, I just wanted to say I just love your show so much. And just, I
Yay!
thought that was so cute that you were making your mom dinner tonight.
Yeah.
What a sweetheart. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. But I love all your commentary, and you're just so intuitive about a lot of these things. I didn't even think about some of the things that you said earlier. And I just,
Oh,
I wish,
thank you.
yeah.
Yay. Well, I appreciate it. Hey, Robo Beth, you want to share?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I feel like Sutton is like, before when she used to freak out, like they used to just make such a big deal about it that
Mhm.
like because they were constantly going after her, we sympathized with her so much. But I feel like because Rena's gone and all of them are like sort of leaving her alone a little bit, I think that
Mhm.
it kind of brings to light the fact that Sutton does really freak out for no reason. Like she
Yeah.
does go a little too hard sometimes. And it's just like even when Dorit was like when they were in the Sprinter van, even when Dorit was like when she said, "Of course, like you guys are always cornering me," and Dorit like gets up and like touches her and stuff, like she was being real rude to Dorit. And so I think that this is something that she needed to be called out on. But
Mhm.
I just think that we never pay attention to it because they're always like targeting her.
Right. So it wasn't that apparent because what they were doing overshadowed it.
Sure, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah.
That's a really good insight. Yeah.
Hey, guys, I really love Sutton, and I think I'm really proud of her for standing up for herself, because it does seem like these girls just cannot get enough with her, though. They are just coming after her, like I said earlier, a dog with a bone, and they
Yep.
just can't let it go. And it's kind of sad sometimes, because I feel like Sutton just wants to be loved. And I know she's not
Exactly.
the best person, but she is likable in her own way. And I think that, like, she's just not appreciated for who she is by these girls who call her a friend.
Mhm. And to be fair to Sutton on this one, because I agree, ultimately I do think she overreacted because she was in her feelings. But to be fair, she got, and like she said herself, she got up and went to the bathroom to deal with it. It wasn't like she caused a scene at Magic Mike. It was when Garcelle left. It was when Kyle left. It was when Crystal was like, we have to leave. So if I was in that situation, I would have reacted the same way Sutton did. If I'm, at a Magic Mike show and for whatever reason, I'm in my feelings about something, instead of sitting in my seat crying, I would get up and go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
The reason why it became such a scene was just like Sutton said, well, you guys all followed me. It wasn't like she was crying in her seat or being like, you guys need to leave or come with me now. She got up and went to the bathroom. And to be honest with you, because we talk about production, I wouldn't be surprised if someone production said, you need to follow Sutton out.
Oh, for
And
sure.
then
For
and then
sure.
staged it and made it so much bigger than what it was. Because if Sutton just went to the bathroom, it wouldn't have been a problem if everybody else would have just stayed and enjoyed the show.
I agree completely. Absolutely. I just think that
Mhm.
I think Sutton really was. I think she showed up thinking it was going to be more of a production and not so much like
Like,
interactive. I think she did have her dollar bills, but I think that she got there and she just didn't really know what she was getting herself into. Clearly, she had never
Mhm.
been to a male strip club before. And I
yeah,
think she
she
just got
definitely
like
did not know what she was getting
overwhelmed
herself
and
into.
then got in her feelings. And some of it she may have been frustrated because she wasn't called on stage right away. But then I think she actually was like appalled a little bit by Erica on stage, which I don't know why she would be, because have you seen Erica's show?
I know, Pat the Puss, like,
That
hello.
was like, it's not like, oh
Sutton
my
was
gosh.
definitely grasping her pearls for a little,
She was too
in an
tight.
authentic way. But I agree, Candy. Like,
Mhm.
exactly how I feel. Like, I feel like she's just a human. Like, once in a while, you have a moment. Like,
Yeah.
imagine hanging out with these women. I would have moments all the time because they'd be
Oh my God.
exhausting. They're manipulative. They're fake. Like, you would probably think I was the biggest psychopath because I'd just be like reacting and processing all this like strategic weirdo-ness all the time. And so she like gets up, and because I truly believe she wasn't trying to create a huge thing of it. She gets up And so,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe that puts like something on, like a spotlight on her, like, oh, there's a lady getting up. But what else was she supposed to do? Otherwise, everyone would have been looking at her. And, like, you know what I mean? She was trying to be proactive, I believe. And then, of
Yeah.
course, and then Garcelle, I feel like she genuinely was trying to help. Maybe, I don't know. But Kyle, for sure, she was like, here we go. I'm going to get material. And it's just
Yep.
like every single time, Kyle, you're not her friend. Stop pretending.
Exactly.
That's why she had an attitude with you off the rip. She's like, oh God, here comes Kyle again. Once she knows what up to. Like, the jig is
Mhm.
up. You do this every single time. It's not like you're not sneaky about it. Like, you can't do the same thing over and over and expect people to just be like, and she gaslights her, like, why are you being so mean to me? Because you're trying to be manipulative, you're trying to stir the pot, you're trying to exploit the situation like you always
Mhm.
do. And she was aware of it. And so she was reacting accordingly. And then, of course, she reacted, and it's everyone else was creating a thing. It's like, can't someone just be a human?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I
Exactly.
like it when she was like, name them. And she became like that Southern
Name
lady of the
'em.
manor.
Name them.
She was like that Southern lady of the manor. Name them.
Name them. I am
Accidentally
Name them.
manifesting
cracked me
being
Kyle.
up.
friends with Sutton. Like, I want to be friends with her.
Me too. I would have a ball. Like,
I would
she's
have
one
a
of the
ball with
few that
Sutton.
I would like
Name them.
just because she's a character. And you best believe I would suddenly have an aggressive Southern accent along with her. Like,
Right? I heard she's super sweet in person too. So I mean,
I'd be
I feel
wearing
like we're
pearls.
judging
I
her
would
off of
prep it
this
up.
edit.
I'd be
Mhm.
like, let's like take me to etiquette class, Sutton. Let's do this. Let's be the Southern ladies of the manor. I'm here for it.
Mhm.
Cute.
Yep. What do you guys think about Kyle?
I think you
I
hit the
think you
nail on
were
the head.
yeah, same. I think you were spot on. I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I think that her wanting to be clear because of her friend's death and has she had the same thoughts, that's all like very powerful message, Candy, and I'm glad that
Mhm.
you're sharing that and you are willing to put that, link up in the end, because I think that
Yeah.
that's something that lots of people have probably struggled with. You
Mhm.
lose a friend. I can't imagine losing a best friend and then having an unsupportive husband on top of it. I think that that could be very overwhelming. And then we have to remember she's not quite an empty nester. She does still have Portia at home, but
Mhm.
other than that, I mean, all of her kids are grown and they don't need her as much. So she's trying to probably fill a void that's in her life, and she's probably struggling as to like how to deal with that.
Wasn't it
100%.
crazy?
Hmm?
Wasn't it crazy how, like, in her confessional, she literally verbatim said what that psychic said?
Yeah. Like, we
She's
wouldn't
like,
have
you'll
anything
have
to talk
nothing
about.
to talk about. Like, I was just like, talk about playing into
Oof.
prophecy. Like, what is going
Oof.
on
Yeah.
here?
It's really scary. And like, also, I think the reason why it hit me so hard when Kyle said I need to be clear right now, because I couldn't imagine losing a friend that way. I'll tell you a story that happened to me. Was it a month ago? Either last month or 2 months ago. So I also do a self-care podcast called The Soft Life. And so I was doing a podcast partnership with this beautiful woman. I'm not going to say what her name is because I'm going to tell you the story. And I was a guest on, she was a guest on my podcast, and it was like super, super fun. And then I was supposed to be a guest on her podcast. So when the day comes around and I'm waiting on Zoom and I'm like, where is she? Like, did she forget? Like, did I send her to the wrong email? Like, what's going on? And I just couldn't figure out what was going on with it. And I was like, all right, well, I'll shoot her a note. Like, maybe she got booked or she forgot or it fell off the calendar or whatever. So I sent her a note and I was like, hey, it's Candy. I've been waiting on Zoom. Like, if you need to reschedule, like, let me know. Like, no big deal. And so I was like, all right, that was weird. And then like a week passes. And I follow up again. I'm like, hey, just checking in. Did you still want me to be a guest on your show? Like, if not, like, don't worry. Like, like, I don't know, whatever's going on. And then, and then I got this message on a post I had of her from when she was on mine. And it said, rest in peace to the person.
Aww.
And I looked it up,
wow.
and and on the obituary, it said like unexpectedly passed away in her apartment. And that's usually code for when a young person either overdoses or they take their own life.
Unalives.
And unalive themselves. And I tried to figure out what happened, and I think it was that one. You know what I mean? And it was just, and I didn't know her very well, but like I loved her when I met her, and it was really great, and it was so good. But it was just this weird feeling in my gut where I'm like, I was sitting on Zoom like waiting for her, and the reason why she wasn't there was because she'd already passed away.
Oh, that is heartbreaking.
It
I'm
was just
so
so
sorry that you
eerie,
had to
and
go through that.
and it was just so eerie. And I tell you, she was a beautiful soul. She was gorgeous, super smart, awesome. And we talk a lot about, like mental health and about, all of that stuff on my podcast. We were talking about like our journeys and everything. And it just felt like so eerie. And like I didn't even like know her that well. So I can't imagine how Kyle or someone else must feel when that happens to their person. You know what I mean?
I feel like I luckily have never experienced a close person passing in that manner.
Yeah.
And I can't honestly imagine, because I feel like that triggers such a weird, it's not just grief, it's like a different feeling. And to have someone close to you do that, I'm sure there might be maybe a little guilt. Because the survivors of people around them, it's natural to feel that way, I think. And it's just, it would really like spin me for sure. Like, I can't even
that's
imagine.
a really good point. And I think that, as someone who has struggled with PTSD, but not because of something like that, but from different reasons, I do know that you can tend to act out. And like you were saying earlier, that you think she's trying to be in control of her life and control of everything. I think that that's a very real reality for a lot of people who have struggled with PTSD. It's like, you feel like your life is out of control. So what things can I control? So therefore I'm going to control my diet. I'm going to control my exercise. I'm going to control when I come and go. No one's going to tell me what I can and can't do.
Because usually whatever like the cause of trauma was out of your control.
Right.
So now you're trying to grasp for some control in other ways.
Absolutely.
Because you feel so powerless.
You feel powerless. And so then you're just trying to figure out and recenter yourself and figure out, who am I? And I'm not quite as old as Kyle, but I am a mom, and I have a 22-year-old. So, as going through some things like that also, where your kids aren't as dependent on you, and your role in your marriage or your life isn't quite as clear. She's trying to redefine that, and she's trying to probably find her place. So I'm trying to give her some, what's the right word? Understanding, grace. Yes, grace is the right word. Grace in this situation. And I really hope that, I pray for her, and I hope that she finds herself. Even though I don't really know her, I still will pray for her, because I believe in the power of prayer.
Me too. Amen.
Yeah, and as a fellow human, I always want to give people grace. I have empathy for everyone, regardless of how, they are. So yeah, I definitely want to give her grace, and I hope that she knows that that whatever whenever I think about that sort of thing, I was saying in the chat, for me, I always try to remind myself when I'm feeling low that whatever like those negative thoughts, always know that that's not yours.
Yeah.
And for me, in my faith, that is the enemy.
Yep.
Because when you're at your lowest, that's when they're able to get in there and be like, oh, well, this is pretty hard, right? No one would really care. And they put those thoughts in your head, and you always have to remember that's not yours.
Yep.
Just to hold on.
Yes.
And I'm praying for everyone.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Love you too. Hey, Mel.
I did want to say, Candy, I want to give you kudos, because like you were the first person, not the first person, but in these recent few weeks, you were the one person that was talking about her, like her friend's death and how that affected her. Yeah. And then for Kyle to confirm it at BravoCon, I thought that was really cool. Like I was like, oh, okay, so like Candy's insight was like interesting, right? Because you were the only one that was really talking about it. I have a difference of opinion though, because I think that I do think that her friend's death was the catalyst to her re-examining her life, but I do think that she's just tired of Mauricio. I mean, the rumors last year were like hardcore. I mean, like imagine, because I don't know what you guys thought about Dorit and Mauricio rumors, which I didn't want them to be true, but I sort of thought that there was validity to them. And I feel like after those rumors came out, I feel like that's really when she changed. And so I don't understand why she doesn't have any smoke for Dorit. But like, I feel like if that did happen, or if something because they stopped hanging out with each other too. I mean, Dorit talked about it in the first episode. And so like, if something happened, like, I think that the reason that she's acting the way she's acting now is because she's just like tired of the lie. She just can't like keep up with the lie anymore. And so her husband obviously just doesn't care. Like that phone call that they had at the beginning with PK, he was just like, he wasn't even giving in or anything. He just doesn't care anymore. And I feel sad for her about that, but I just don't feel like it's an excuse for the way that she's acting towards Sutton. Because like, she went in like she's always going like, I feel like all her like anger towards Sutton is misdirected.
Projection.
And I don't understand why.
Absolutely.
And I agree, because I think her friend's death, like you said, was the catalyst. Because I think whenever we have a crisis in our life, we face any type of big trauma or loss, it makes you evaluate everything else. It sort of wakes you up. Because you could probably keep just making excuses. Oh, it's just Mauricio, it's this, it's that, or like, I'll do this then. But when you have those big traumas and those big losses, it wakes you up and makes you start to look at your life and realize that like, this one life we have is a gift and tomorrow isn't promised. So the stuff that you're kind of just swallowing now, you can't tolerate anymore. But I think that Kyle should have taken Mauricio. If she wants to continue her marriage with him, maybe she doesn't. But I think if she wanted to, I think she should have gotten individual therapy, and then they should have gotten couples therapy, and then he should have gotten individual therapy himself. Like, we need 3 therapists, 1 for the couples and then 2 individually for him, because Mauricio is so emotionally checked out to her, where he's very much like, she's always right. I'm just going to say yes because I don't want to deal with anything. And the way that she receives that is the same way Robo Beth was feeling, that he doesn't care. Whereas I don't think it's that he doesn't care. I just think that he doesn't know how to deal with tough emotions. And so
it's like the testament of men and women.
It's also attachment styles. He's just avoidant. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't want to deal with this, so I'm going to avoid it by just saying you're right. So she keeps going after him because the only thing she wants him to do is to confront it. Pay attention to me, listen to me, fight with me, because then I know that you care about me. But I do think he cares. They're just communicating in 2 vastly different ways that they cannot understand each other.
I agree. I think that they both want to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
And they're not feeling that in the relationship. And that's so sad, because they put all of these years in together. And like you said, they need individual therapy and couples therapy together, because they cannot do this on their own. This is clearly above their pay grade.
100%.
Which sometimes it is. Sometimes things in life are above our pay grade and we need some professional help. And that is okay. And it's actually a wise decision.
Because sometimes you're like too in it to see out of the fog.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I definitely with what you said too, Candy, with like, because I was thinking that too as you were actually speaking it, how it probably was a catalyst for her to take inventory.
Exactly.
Because she's like, here, this happened. I'm not getting support. So now I feel like my marriage is suffering. And then now she's looking at friends and she's totally projecting on Sutton. Sutton's just always been her punching bag.
Oh,
and it's really annoying.
Because she doesn't feel threatened by Sutton.
She's the only one where she's big and brave around. Yeah, exactly.
Right. 100%. And like, even when the girl that I was becoming friends with in the podcast with, like, even when she passed away, like, I took inventory of my own life and I wasn't even that close to her. And I was just like, I have to enjoy every single day of my life. Like, that's the thought I had. I was like, I really just have to enjoy my life, because like, you never know. And I think, imagine losing someone that close to you. Just like you said, it really makes you take inventory and think, where am I not actually showing up in my life? And I think that's what Kyle is trying to figure out now.
Yeah. Well, and also I think that Kyle is acting out, obviously.
Yep.
with some of these things that she's doing. And I think that, you know, she's reverting back to her old behaviors, because I think that she's treating Sutton very much like she treated her sister Kim
Yep.
Mhm.
on earlier seasons. And she's going back
It's
to
her
that.
coping mechanism, which
It
is
is.
toxic.
It is. She thinks she can, you know, lead that relationship.
Yeah. Usually when you're hurting, you lash out to the people that you actually love the most.
Okay.
Oh, go. Hey, Mel. What's up, sweetheart?
Hey, Candy. Hey, ladies. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hi.
I'm doing good. Listen, you know what? I'm so happy I caught alive. Feel like I've been missing all the conversations about Beverly Hills.
No.
And so I'm so happy I caught one because I've subscribed and I couldn't catch them. I said, oh my gosh. You know what? I think I'm listening. I'm loving what you ladies are saying about Kyle. I think that for me, yeah, I think that for me, a big part of her issues are definitely her relationship with, you know, the loss of her mother and also her relationship with her sisters. I feel I love Kim and I love Kathy, I really do, but I feel like the way they treated her as when they were younger is kind of why I feel like the way she is with other women now. You know, she kind of has that very like I'm gonna get you before you get me. I think that with Sutton, she definitely does this thing to her that she used. That I think that was done to her from her sisters. I think that she always says all the time that they was bullying her, and I can believe that because I think that Kim and Kathy are really tough. They just don't show it on the camera, which I love those ladies. I love them very much so. But I think that she does this kind of mean girl thing with other people who she feels like low picking fruit. She can just sort of do this thing to them. And I'm always confused with Sutton why she never just sort of like why she always gives Kyle the time of day. Like as soon as she sees her coming with that energy, I would put my hand up to her face, not in her face, but just like, nope, I'm not doing this with you. Every single year, you get me in a corner, you pinch me, you hurt me, you do something to me. I'm not going to do it. Now, mind you, Sutton is a very small, tiny little lady, and she can't really, you know, be pushing her like my girl Brandy did at one time. You see, she tried when Brandy first got there, she showed her true face. Because Cal does have a true face that only LVP really knows, that sort of mean, behind the scenes, texting, very nasty person. She plays a victim all the time on the show, but she can be very mean. And some of the other cast members, whether it be Carlton or Brandon, whoever, they've seen the true face of Kyle. So I think that sometimes we see that flash up with Sutton, because I think that maybe she's threatened by the fact that Sutton is so adorable and that she truly is, you know, sometimes a victim in these situations, you know, even though she's a grown woman, but I think that she's like, wait a minute, I'm not going to let you out victim me. I'm going to have to sort of make you feel blame for how I feel. Like, no, stop inserting yourself in this woman's life. Leave her alone. Stop touching her and blaming her. And even though it wasn't the best when she kept saying name it, but it was something. I like the fact that Kyle was bothered. Yeah, Kyle is manipulative and you know, and it was funny to me that she came in this season saying, well, you know, I felt so hurt. I'm like, wait a minute, your sister came on the show. They always do. They come on the show because they're your sisters. And you literally go behind the scenes with these little, allegedly, behind the scenes with these text message chains. And you set up your sisters every time. You almost send Kim to the crazy ward. So, yeah, she's no victim. She is absolutely no victim. She's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, I think.
100%.
Absolutely.
And you know what it is when it comes to Kyle and Sutton? This is why Sutton doesn't like go so hard for Kyle or, you know, or whatever it is. It's because Sutton and Kyle, Kathy and Kim, they've known each other for a long time. That's why Kyle is always like, Sutton and I are actually really, really close. We have a good friendship. They just don't show it on the screen. But the problem is Sutton is way closer to Kathy because, you know, Kathy is married to Rick Hilton. They have that old money. They have, what's her face? Kathy's daughter is married to either a Rockefeller or a Rothschild, one of them. This is very like old money, long money, a lot of money. So remember, Sutton also has that old money from her husband, and then they built that big business and all the money he has. So they all run in those type of circles. And Kyle, just like you said, she's reverting back to being that little girl that feels left out and not good enough. That's why she was like, you know, complaining in episode 1. Well, Sutton wants to be friends with Kathy because Kathy throws all the parties and that's why she took Kathy's side, you know, blah, blah, blah. Kyle, you're a 54-year-old woman literally crying over the fact that Sutton wants to hang out with your sister because she has the better parties.
Right.
You know, it sounds like a teenager. It sounds like a tween talking about, you want to be friends with my sister because she has the cooler friends and she has the better parties. she sort of reverts back to like her little wounded girl.
And
exactly
you know
what I was saying
And I think
earlier.
that Sutton sees that in Kyle, and that's why she doesn't go as hard. But tonight she was like, "Name him. I'm not playing with you, Kyle. Like, don't talk to me like that, Kyle. I'm not playing with you today." She's like, "I know you're going through something. I know you got problems. But today I'm not playing with it."
Name them.
But they've all been friends for a long time. That Hilton money and Sutton, that Strack money, because remember, she gets about $300,000 or $350,000 a month.
A month.
And
A
untaxed. Untaxed. She said on Watch What Happened Live.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
It's the blue blood. It's the blue blood.
Exactly. And it's just like, Kyle, it's, you know, Sutton doesn't side with Kathy because Kathy has the better parties. She's just more in alignment with like Sutton, a Kathy Hilton.
And why
Kathy
would she align with
to hang
Kyle?
around.
Kyle
I would rather be
backstabs her
friends
every
with Kathy than
chance.
Kyle myself. Kyle is so annoying.
You know what?
Oh my God.
You know, I would just say one thing. So my friend, this is a long time ago, he had a blog talk radio show, and before she was on the shows, he interviewed her, and I did a little thing with her. She was so sweet, and we didn't have a social media at all. It was like maybe 5 or 10 people. She followed the social media. She liked the post. If we were sick about something, she said, "I'm so sorry." She was very interactive, very kind of sweet lady. That's how I remember Kathy Hilton years ago. Very sweet lady. But I think that, you know, what's so funny too, Candy, again, I love what you have here with this writing, and it's so good work. I think that for me too, and I bet you've noticed this too, haven't you? When Kyle is encountering people who have known her for over 15 years, whenever she does the victim thing or acting thing, they kind of clock her real quick. Whenever Kim or even Kathy at the reunion, obviously, she was like, "Wait a minute, we had a conversation. You know about you know about this," and she wasn't going too hard in, but she kind of like, "Wait, what are you doing right now with your friends?" Kim, of course, legendary at the moment at the Amsterdam. She said, "Wait a minute, why are you over here crying when these girls got me? That's not how you are. Stop that," because they're referring to the two faces. We have the actress who's from Halloween out there playing the victim, always running from Michael Myers, always running. But then the real Michael Myers actually is Kyle on the show. He's very nasty and mean. So I love, and the ladies, you probably get this too. Whenever you watch the series, if whether it was I forget her name, the woman who was so sad, Taylor. You know, anybody who knows her for a long time, they always clock her on the show. And my girl LVP, they get it real quick to go, "Wait a minute, you're faking right now. You're acting." They will allude to the fact that she's not a victim.
Kathy was like at the reunion, she was like, "Why are you crying?"
Come on,
I said the same thing. I'm like, "Why are you crying, Kyle?"
They get her every time. They if you know her for a long time, they kind of can go. They can clock when she's playing the victim as an actress. They get it every time. And I love when they do that.
Me too.
Same. Because she's fake and phony, and I know this is completely like 180 from us blessing her earlier, but like we got to keep it real.
We got to keep it real. We still have love for her. What do you guys are thinking about Garcelle this season?
I get
a little fall from grace, I feel.
Me too. And remember, I noticed that slight little. It's always like 1 foot. I just get this vibe where it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out with Sutton with her. And like she doesn't fully ever commit to just being like, she kind of like goes along with the mess sometimes. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you can't complain that she's not going to back you up if you do this. Right. I'm like, the catalyst to a friendship where you're like 100% loyal is that you both have each other's back, not just one. So it's just weird. And like, I'm just like, why are you doing this? Like, these women aren't going to be your friend anyway. Like, they're going to backstab you if they could. So why are you even catering to them or entertaining any of the nonsense they're whipping up?
Yeah.
You know what, Natasha? Oh my God, you're hitting it. So I'm going to say something a little controversial. So I love Garcelle. I love her.
I love her too, but like, you know.
I love her, but the controversial part is, so I remember when Denise and Lisa Rinna, who I don't like Lisa Rinna, and I don't like her, but I remember thinking as a viewer, I said, my God, you've known Lisa Rinna for 20 years, you know, of course, Denise Richards for a long time. I didn't understand why she inserted herself in that situation. Sometimes I feel like she might have these sort of relationships and connection with these people for a long time, and she tests those boundaries sometimes. And I feel like when they kind of hit her back a little bit, she kind of gets, you know, she doesn't feel very comfortable. So I don't understand why sometimes she doesn't really just dive deep into her friendships and just own it and not really test them as much or whatever. And now that it's
That's
just her,
weird to test, though. That's just strange to me. I don't know if that's a
Mhm.
trauma response from her,
I
like
don't know, but
feeling betrayed or whatever from her
yeah.
husband, but like
Because
that's weird.
sometimes with her friendships, I don't think that if she loves Sutton, she can just love her and not really have to do all that kind of mess that sometimes she does when it comes to her. And I
Yeah.
think that when it came to other people I've seen on the show with her, even with I mean, I know he's in the headlines, Mr. Will Smith, ex-wife. Come on, we're never gonna go. Listen, I'm not gonna touch that. I was like,
We could
where's
do a candy cane after dark for Will Smith.
Miss
Yeah,
Candy,
that's a half
Miss
for
Candy,
dark.
I'm looking for the OnlyFans link for that one, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
Mm,
So, but come on now. But I think that, yeah, I think that with her, it's lukewarm this season. I think it was heartbreaking with her children. I think that sometimes I feel like she's a little insecure with some of her friendships or her position on the show. And but I love her. I love her, and I
yeah.
think she's a sweet woman. But I wish she would just sort of not be as I don't know, as soft, I guess. It's the only word I can think of. She's a little soft sometimes for me, and I wouldn't want that. But I love her. I love her very much.
Agreed. Hey, Sandy, you want to share?
I would love to share. Hi everyone. So since we're on Garcelle,
Mhm.
I think Garcelle started super authentic, fresh, her very own self.
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems like her acting just rolled over to this show.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think it's ultimately trust issues and lack of relatability with the other women. But honestly, like she's an actress, but I can literally feel the side eye roll energy. I don't know if anyone else can, but I just it's giving. I don't want to be here.
Between who?
Garcelle and everyone. Like I think even
Yeah.
Sam is starting to annoy her. Um,
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
and she doesn't play bully nice. I didn't like how she approached Sutton
Yeah.
and her dating.
Like she knows her now. Yeah, like why are you doing that? You know she gets embarrassed. It's just like why are these people acting shocked by Sutton's personality still?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
consistent, if anything.
Exactly. This woman is consistent. If you can't pick up on her personality by now, that means that you are exceptionally self-centered and can't acknowledge other human beings. Like
I
I
just
don't know what
think
to
it's
tell you.
because it's draining. Like having to constantly like she's kind of like a big baby. Like Sutton, and I like Sutton. Like I'm not trying to come at her, but like if I was like around someone that was like Sutton all the time, I'd be like, okay, enough. And I think that that's what's happening with Garcelle. Like because she even said like, I wish y'all would go after her. And Dorit did try to go after her. If y'all see that little like micro interaction, and Sutton was like, no, leave me alone. And it was just like, and it's not the first time she's acted like that. It's not the second time. It's like I don't know if you guys watch What Happens Live, but they showed several times where Sutton has acted like that. And so I think that as grown women, we get tired of it to a certain extent. Like I can be your friend, like Garcelle said, but there's a certain limit that I'm gonna go like above and beyond for.
I think with Dorit though, Sutton knows that she was just being fake, and it's kind of like the whole Kyle thing, and she was immediately defensive as soon as she approached her because she's like, "This woman does
She's
not like
different. Like
me."
she
Like,
doesn't really like overanalyze her actions. And I think that's cool. That's what's cool about Sutton. But with like Garcelle and Sutton's like relationship, I can see why Garcelle would be like, okay, like it's getting tiring, and I can understand why she feels that way.
I can also see why other people might be irritated that Sutton, the rich bitch, is not getting hammered on. I don't know if there's any feelings of resentment there, but like if you're just floating by housewife life with more money than people can think of, I'm sorry. I might tap into being mean too. I'm not perfect, but I can be a little salty.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's just she is that girl that unfortunately she's not really intimidating personality. So if you want to project, she's your girl, you're going to project. And unfortunately, all the women have picked up on that. And Sutton does as well. And so that's why you see that little, like, snippy little back once in a while because she's tired of it too. Name
We're all
them.
tired.
Name them.
I did, if it's okay, had a little bit to say about Kyle. Oof, Kyle. So and like, I'm not trying to like flex or anything, but I've been in crisis work for over 10 years. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't the first time Kyle potentially experienced that kind of ideation, because Kyle's behavior has been compared to teenage antics and spite. But I also mention that because it's incredibly responsible. The way she's been trying to cope on her own simultaneously, like not drinking being the biggest. Like, it is not usual for someone experiencing those intense thoughts for the first time to be so clear on what they need to do to stay okay. Even if it means projecting, letting out the Kyle monster whenever the opportunity arises. Things have been unfair, so I wouldn't be surprised if she even rationalized her behavior as living her truth in some, like,
I think Candy was right when she like kind of picked up on maybe the issue with her friend that is no longer with us. There might have been a substance, and this is just pure speculation, and witness and kind of seeing that firsthand, how that could truly affect and cause anyone's demise. She probably was scared too. She's like, well, when I feel sad, I don't want to ever be in that place, and maybe I don't trust my emotions all the time, so I just need to stay away from this.
Yeah, it's like that. If my friend had a clear mind, if she hadn't been drinking, would she still be here? I think that kind of like what her thinking is. And so I think she's like, well, I don't want to get so unclear that I end up doing what she did.
Right.
So yeah, I am too proud that she isn't. I feel like that is very smart, and I'm proud that she made that decision. So kudos to her for that.
Me too. And it does seem like she's starting to heal more, because like at BravoCon, she was actually like able to talk about it. Whereas this entire season, we know what happened, but she doesn't really talk about it. Because when we're filming this season, her friend had already passed away. But
she's not telling
you wouldn't
us
know it just by watching the season. We only know it because of like social media and stuff. But later on in the season, I think she has like an event for mental health in honor of her friend. But Morgan's there at the event. Morgan like plays or something.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't stand Morgan now.
We need to I feel like I want to be like, Morgan, blink twice if you need to be free. Because I don't think Morgan likes Kyle at all. Morgan looks disgusted by her. I think
she's just using her.
100%. This has only been a come up for Morgan.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
No,
I don't know, something about Morgan I just don't like. I feel like she's like using this older sad woman, and it's just weird. And Kyle's obviously no angel, but like I don't know, I just feel like there's something off with her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dorit's been getting sassy in her confessionals. She's coming for Erica. I'm not mad about it, but I just noticed.
Bleach. It's the lack of bleach.
It's giving her more clear-headed. Yeah.
It's what is it? It's season. What is it? Dorit's season. Her first season when she got there. Again, when people was sort of shaking in their boots that Lisa Rinna was gone, I said, wait a minute, don't sleep on Dorit. Because I remember when she first got there, it was it was a panty gate. I guess it was when she was talking about underwear or something. And she was mean, she was shady, and she has it in her. I personally don't like Dorit because I feel like there's something going on between her and Garcelle that she's not strong enough to talk about. But I think that Dorit is definitely shady, and if people forget her first season, she has it in her. And I think even when she I think she made Teddy cry at one point or something. No, that was Erica. But she has that kind of messy.
It's like that elitist kind of like
she feels entitled to Garcelle's trust.
Oh Lord, I know that's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, what have you done to earn that trust, Boo Boo? And last time I checked, you're not over all 8,000 of your robberies.
Come on now.
So we're gonna need you to sit down on this one.
Listen. You know what I would say too. Anybody, I'm not going to go there because I know last year, when I kind of was talking about this show, I got a little bit of trouble, whatever, when the ladies were not there no more. But even the way she reacted to, I guess I could say Diana. I could say her name. But the way she reacted to Diana when it came to the troll farm and stuff, and just everything that happened with Garcelle's son, and she just was not really. She had no empathy. She shows no empathy for Garcelle at all. So why in the world would she feel like this woman would be a person who she can share coffee with, more or less her more deeper, feelings? Like she shows no empathy at all. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know. I just don't know. I can't pinpoint.
I mean,
Because
I'm
it's
not
all about
one.
her.
I'm not one to point out this sort of thing, but like all signs are pointing to it. I just like cannot get this out of my mind. That time when she was like, "Well, my mom's best friend was black,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
and
Lord.
and we hired," and I was just like, "Could you be any more of a
In the help
cliche
or something she
undercover
said. Yeah.
race, like R word person? Like, what is this? Are you for real, girl?" And like, I don't know. I don't want to I feel like that's a strong accusation to put on people, but like, it's not. Dorit, help us to help you because it's starting to look like that.
It
a
is,
little bit.
and
It
If
is.
it walks like a duck,
And quacks like a duck. It's
it's a
Dorit.
it's a Dorit.
It's a Dorit. It's a
But
Dorito.
yeah, I think Natasha, you're hitting on something. I was going to say one thing too. Again, you ladies probably know this too. Dorit's a fan, so whenever a person comes on the show who happens to be the diva of Miss Jamie Lee Curtis, honey, I love Miss Jamie Lee, and then you have, of course, Boy George, other people. When people are in entertainment, she brings them more. She connect with them in some way. She lives for it. But Garcelle, okay, is a Nubian princess. She's a diva. She's from Haiti. She's lovely, wonderful, beautiful. She's like, no, I think that really disturbs her because anytime any person came up there who was any kind of celebrity of any sort, she basically, forgive my French, she kissed their butt. She really did. And she lived for that moment. But Garcelle gives her nothing. She doesn't really bring her into the group. She doesn't really, talk about her filming and none of that kind of stuff. So I think that bothers her. She's a fan who cannot get satisfied at Garcelle. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Mel, remember? Oh my God. As you're saying this, all I'm thinking, Mel, you have to remember this part. Remember when Jamie Lee Curtis came and she was like overly saying like the wind chimes were so beautiful?
You're so chic.
She said it was chic, 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 chic. Oh my God. So
Man, it's so chic. This is so chic. This is so chic.
I mean,
Like, act like you've been here before, Dorit. Jeez.
Yeah, we're gonna need to chill.
And it's true. And the thing is, to me, to the ladies, everybody, like, what part of London did you come from that you were so fancy, so brilliant?
She comes from Connecticut.
From Connecticut.
Chick was born in Connecticut.
Right. And well,
she was born like 4 hours from where I was born. Like, shut up.
Okay,
You're
come on,
born in the
Candy.
East Coast?
Come on.
Yeah, I'm East Coast girl.
And then the thing is, so Candy, so you live in Hollywood. I live out here in New York City. So you come across people making movies all the time. I guess I'm just jaded that way. I'm not going to go around when I see people like, oh, I don't do that. So for her, it surprises me that you have access. And every time somebody comes around who's not even A-list, I love Jamie Lee, I love her, but who's not really to the top, and you're losing your mind. So there's something not very congruent about Miss Dorit, her accent, her attitudes. She's definitely a fan. So yeah, she's a fan with her feelings, I guess, when it comes to Garcelle.
You're right. No, keep going.
No, please. I think that's what I feel like with her. I think also what Miss Natasha said too. There's something awkward about how she's uncomfortable with Garcelle. She feels nervous about saying that. So then she wants to keep reasserting, I do have, I'm very international. I have many different, rainbow friends. Girl, I don't need to know that. I want to know your real feelings. Like, well, who are you? What is your accent? What do you really believe? Stop trying to hide behind your friendships international, because I feel like you're just a Beverly Hills Karen, in my opinion, to be honest with you.
There you go.
I feel like
there
every time we see her in like interviews or any kind of like spontaneous situations, like if you see like a red carpet or something like at BravoCon, like you like and like another housewife comes up to her, she always seems so standoffish. Like, who is this like
Wow.
minion rolling up on me? Like, that's the vibe I get. Like, she has this
Wow.
elitist vibe.
Dorit is probably just so bored out of her mind, waiting for a booty call from Mauricio that will never come.
Ooh, allegedly, Lord.
Unrequited love.
Ooh.
Ooh.
A mess. Can you imagine if that's all you had to like? I think he does kind of have like a little bit of swag. I get like how he could have humor, and like I'm a personality girl in general, but like, I mean, PK is pushing it a little bit.
You know
I
what?
love him though.
I do too. So, oh my gosh. So PK and her children. So the best part of Dorit, in my opinion, is her husband and her children. They are
Chaga.
absolutely, the children are adorable since day one. They are so cute. And I think PK, I think for me, he won me over when he said, Erica, I didn't say you were cold. You were inherently cold, honey. I said, oh, hold up now.
Yeah,
Hold the
that was a
table.
mic drop.
I
Oh my
said, wait a
god! And
minute. This
Phoenix
man
with
is,
that little helmet. Remember, she used to have that little helmet.
yeah.
She was
Yeah.
so adorable. She looked like a
My
little
gosh,
like.
Mr. PK, he reads the girls. He really do. He reads the husbands too. He reads
I
everybody.
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if PK and Mo have, hung out.
Wait a minute,
Even
Miss Kenny, are you saying that you think that PK and Mo are giving you Dwayne and Will Smith vibes?
That part. Little bromance, a little broski
little
man.
romantical.
All I can say is
This
I
is what
hope
I
it
think
leads.
happens.
Allegedly.
I think they get drunk. I think they get high,
Okay.
and Mo
Yeah.
just lets PK do what he wants.
I love how you say it's PK doing it.
You know what I mean? Like I don't see Mo putting in any effort. I think he's
Okay.
sort of like a pillow princess.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I'm not. You know what, I'm not getting in trouble again. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna say allegedly with that one. I learned
Allegedly.
I learned my
All
lesson.
alleged.
Everything's sport and entertainment, and
My
everything is
laughs are
alleged.
alleged.
Absolutely.
Everything's alleged.
Yes, entertainment only, opinion based.
Thank you, Jesus.
By the court of law, I kiki this.
I can picture Mauricio asking PK, wait, you can't do splits?
Oh, I
Oh my
love
gosh.
it.
Oh,
Oh
a
my
mess.
God. Dorit should go back to blonde because she's actually slaying in the photo.
I mean, beautiful.
She
Drop
is.
dead.
She is. I
Beautiful.
mean, the airbrushing is helping.
She looks good
But
in the honey blonde hair. It has to be the tone. The tone
yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
When her hair color is too cold, like a colder hue, it washes her out.
Mhm.
She's Israeli. She has that olive skin. She needs that warm. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think maybe she thought she was going to give Gal Gadot, who was drop dead gorgeous Miss Wonder Woman, and she was giving Gal Gadot. She was not giving
I knew you
Gal
were gonna say that. I
Gadot.
was
Gal
like, I couldn't
Gadot.
even get the
No,
no. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. No. But she's a
What did we
beautiful
think
lady.
about?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sorry. What did we think about Crystal?
Oh,
Oh,
you
I
know what?
Did
forgot
we
about
forget she was
Crystal.
there?
So Candy,
Always.
so ladies and Candy, so I'm indifferent to her, but oh my gosh, I don't like Jeff Lewis. I just don't like him.
Me
So
neither.
when she kind of gave him a little something that was not politically correct, mind you, I lived for it. I said, my gosh, I hope that we're going to see some of that kind of thing because I think the woman is beautiful. I think she's very smart. I think she's very strategic. But I think that she was playing it really careful. I think some of the girls were saying, I think Erica, because she's good at clocking people. She said, "You want to come up as a fawn or something, and you think that we're sharks or I'm not. Maybe she didn't say it to her. Maybe she said it to Teddy. But if she give us this year what she gave at the BravoCon, then I'm going to be liking Miss Crystal because she's been too quiet, but she got Jeff together real good, and
What
yeah,
did
she
Jeff
has
say
it.
about her? I missed that whole. I didn't know they had a thing.
You know what? I think he said that she was boring or something, and she said basically he wanted to be a housewife, which he probably do, and that he was I can't say what else she said. It's politically correct, but she didn't get him real good. She got him back real fast.
He like I've noticed that he seems very just like toxic in general. Like, yeah, some of the stuff in snarky comics are funny once in a while, but he is just like I don't know. I'm noticing a pattern where he is with women. Like
He's
started
more,
with Jenny, and then
yeah.
he just like always is having these issues and like turns on people, and it's like he's the common denominator always.
Well, I was going to say too,
Mhm.
he's a member of my community, absolutely. But that being said, I renounce him because he is garbage. And I think that for me, I don't like the way he deals with people from different countries. I don't like the way he deals with women. He's basically, well, I was going to say something political, but I don't want to go there, whatever. But just because he's a gay man don't mean he's not a hot mess. And everything he stands for, and the people he supports, Kelly Dodd, and I mean, I could go on and on. He should be at the MAGA party, basically. I don't give a damn about what community he's a part of mine. He is garbage. So I like when the ladies, I'm sorry, Candy, I'm being a little free on your channel tonight. He is garbage.
You can be free. Feel free to be free.
Okay, Miss Candy, he's garbage. He's garbage, and
I called Dorit trash like literally 100 times. So
Okay,
garbage is being
You're just
friendly
on
over here.
brand today,
But
Bill. You're good.
okay, I
You're
was gonna say
fine.
too, but I was gonna say too, I love ladies so much. I'll never use that kind of language with anybody, but with guys, I would definitely call them every name in the book. But yeah, Jeff is trash, and but Miss Crystal, I just think she's beautiful. I think I think her brother's cute. I have a crush on her brother.
Right?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, she's so cute. 'Cause I love K-pop, so I love that
Mhm.
music. Yeah, I think she's really beautiful. She has it in her. I don't know why she's been holding back, but that woman, well, Candy, because you're a specialist at this, there's a
Yeah.
woman in there who I don't know about. She's beautiful, but I find her annoying already. She's like a very conservative lady. She's coming in a couple of episodes.
Anne Marie.
Yeah, Miss Anne Marie. Oh my
I
God.
already don't like her.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
And
Candy
I'm
calls her a
pissed
plant.
because it's like I want like I'm not being like racist or anything, but like because she was black, I wanted to really like her. But I obviously off the bat I don't like her, and she hasn't even said a word yet because I already know what she's up to. I already feel like
Mhm.
I already feel like she's just a Kyle plant.
That's right.
And she's just gonna say whatever Kyle wants her to say. She's gonna be a very pick-Misha. She's gonna be a pick-me to Kyle and those girls.
It's giving
She's
a
not gonna
Teddy.
get along with Crystal. I want to see what's gonna be the vibe with her and Garcelle. I bet you she doesn't vibe with Sutton. And to me, I'm just like, I wanted to root for you. Like,
Yeah.
why?
You know what? I love my sisters. I love,
Exactly.
like
That's
you
what I'm
said,
saying. Like, I
I do
wanted to
too.
be like, yes, girl, but
But
I'm like, I'm not here for her.
I love my sister, but you know how hard it was for me to denounce Miss Stacey Dash and denounce Candace Owens. So because I love they're beautiful. I
Yes.
love them, but I denounced them. So when she
Same.
comes in, she's coming in with that, and I think what you ladies are saying is true. She came in with energy as again a beautiful African American woman. We
Yep.
had issues and conversations about race and stuff on this show that wasn't really deep. That came to Garcelle. So what Cal did, which I kind of found disgusting, is she brought in this woman who is obviously representing the Candace Owens and the Stacey Dash of the world, and
Mhm.
she's coming in with that energy to tell the
She
audience,
is.
oh well, she can come in and she can say the things that we want to say, but because she is a beautiful melanin woman, she can get away with it, and she can basically be our mouthpiece. And I find that very
Exactly.
cowardly. And
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's like what they're doing in Potomac with the plant Nika. Are you watching Potomac?
Absolutely, I love Candace.
Listen.
So
Oh, that is dark. What's going on?
Nika is
It is
nothing
so.
but a Ashley production plant to go after Wendy, and I think it's some
Right.
give back because Nika's also the same color as Wendy. They're also from Nigeria, so I think it's almost a
Bringing
give
up that
back
tribal
because
stuff.
Wendy and like Candace had brought up the colorism stuff.
Mhm.
So now, like you said, there's like a mouthpiece. Well, you can't say it's colorism because I'm Nigerian too, and I'm coming for you. And
Yeah.
just like Anne Marie, she's gonna come on the show. She's gonna be a mouthpiece of Kyle. Well, you can't say it's racism. You can't say it's any of that stuff because she's black.
And you know what? That makes me sad.
And that makes me sad.
It makes me
me really
sad because when the conversation is going and it's growing and growing and it's uncomfortable and it's really good on all these shows, and then the producers or the girls or whoever bring in these sort of things, these devices to sort of divert where we're going, it
Yep.
makes me sad because you know what's going to happen to Candy. I always address the ladies, everybody on the panel.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is we're going to get to reunion. And then we're going to mute that conversation that's needed about the colorism, because now we have these different agents on the cast. And so now because they're saying things as a mouthpiece for the Green Eye Bandits or for the very conservative ladies in Beverly Hills, then now we're going to say, hey, well, this is not going to happen on the show because we have this sister here doing, and I just, that makes me sad. Makes me very sad.
I feel like you choosing the word agent, that was like a really accurate way to say it.
Yeah.
They act like little agents.
Yeah.
And it's, and it's going to and basically it kind of like muddies the water of what's really going on. And that's very strategic.
Yeah.
And it is sad.
Cool. Just generally not cool. We've seen it time again.
You remind me of what you just said was like Luann. Just like not cool. Like just like
Listen, wiser words have never been said.
Like sometimes it
not
really
cool.
is that simple too.
Don't be cool. Don't be all uncool.
I know it. And you know what's so funny too? Why is it that I can tolerate and enjoy my queens who you kind of bump into going around the city when they were filming years ago? Those girls who have problems. They took me out one time at the reunion when they was like, oh, well, my count or whoever he is, he's going to have a conniption fit because I'm getting in love with a Jewish man. They never really followed through with the joke. I was like, well, why is this a joke? But I still love them, even though they're problematic. I don't like Ramona, but I think that, I love them. But when it comes to the girls in Beverly Hills, it sticks in my craw. It bothers me. And even my sisters, the Grand Bandits, they bother me too because it bothers me. But I don't know why it didn't bother me with the ladies in Beverly Hills. But yeah, I think that the agent's coming in. She's going to be a thorn in Miss the beautiful here, Miss Crystal's side.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hope that she has the fire in her, but I heard that Anne Marie is going to be gathering her up pretty much because she's not going to be able to keep up with Miss Anne Marie. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and what do we think about? Is Erica just going to her promises of Lent to slowly fall down the drain?
She is so fake, phony, and broke. Erica needs to just go all the way down to hell and leave us all alone. I'm tired of watching her dry puss on the screen. Go away, Erica. Nobody wants you with your fake tears. I'm tired of her. You know what it is? Like,
tell us.
And then I'm gonna get off my soapbox. But like, what pisses me off is that like there is such true poverty and suffering and people who are victims in this world who truly are doing their best to be decent people and just provide a decent life for them and their children or whoever they choose to love and bring into this world. And to see this woman act like she is a victim and that she's destitute in any way is disgusting to me. And then to watch the other women around her like Ding Dong Trash Can and Fall from Grace Garcelle and Bio Kyle sit around her like, yeah, Erica, you're right. You're so strong. You're going to come back from this. What? What? It just blows my mind. Like, when I was I live in California, so like when I would drive by like people like literally living in tents, like my heart would bleed. And it's like, but then you have this person acting like she's so destitute. It just makes it just irritates my spirit. It like really pisses me off. It really does. To like
it's really awful,
especially because she got everything literally from stealing from real victims, and she has zero remorse, zero accountability, and she's still fighting this in the legal system, wasting more money and time and resources. And that is just crazy to me. And how is she on our screens acting like she's a victim and these other women are co-signing this BS? It pisses me off. And Garcelle, I'm so disappointed in you because this woman, not only did she say she wanted to have sex with your son, then said that his wife was a baby mama, and then she cussed out your other son, and then she threw the fact that you confided in her that your eldest son Oliver used to have substance abuse addiction in your face when you were actually concerned about her popping pills and popping the puss and popping the bottle. And yet now you want to sit up here and kiki with this woman and throw Sutton, your lovely friend, under the bus? Miss me with the BS. Like it irritates me. Like to
Yeah, Garcelle's in
no
the S
end.
house for me this week.
I had to side eye her like boo boo. Erica is not your friend.
Yeah,
Fall from grace.
I'm gonna need her to tighten up.
Yep. And just like MRT says, Erica planned the elevator stump because I had a private suite. You can't use the elevator unless you have the codes. And we know these guys didn't have that type of ID suite. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Still trying to play in our faces.
You know what? I think for me, when Erica, for me, I never got what the ladies were doing with her when she first had those things, when she was so angry, so enraged for
Mhm.
years. And listen, I'm a black man. My mother was a black woman, and it was very real. And so for me, I would have loved for them to say, "Wait, hold up, lady. Let me tell you one thing. I did not have you marry this old ass man. I'm not
Mhm.
responsible for none of your legal problems. So please don't get in my face and cuss at me because it's going to be a problem. I'm not
Yep.
responsible for none of your issues. So don't come up here going hog wilding out your mind because you're going to get checked real hard, and it's going to be
And
very
real quick.
and very quick.
Very quick.
quickly.
Absolutely.
Very quick.
And I think also when it came to, there was, I'm sure, not sure what y'all, maybe you talked about, Miss Candy.
Mhm.
She pandered to our community, to the LGBT community. And then there was
Yep.
some big lawsuit where it was, if people watch Drag Race, this man, I forget his name, but his business was totally destroyed behind buying into this notion, allegedly, because again, what do we into no more problems? But yeah, I know. Listen, yeah, you just go that dining lady. Oh Lord, her,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, you can. We get it.
yeah, thank you, Natasha. So, but because these people are a little crazy. Last year was pretty hard for me to do some commentating on this show because I was like, these ladies are out their mind. But yeah, I think that she's a hot mess. And then also, we can't forget that her and her girlfriend was booed at the BravoCon last year. So when she came in
Mhm.
this year, it was so funny to me that she said, you know what, I'm seeing this therapist and I'm going to learn empathy. And I'm like, I'm not buying that. You just trying to rehab
Reputation.
your reputation because you know that the audience couldn't stand you, that
Mhm.
you were just mean, nasty, blonde, vapid, without any kind of substance to you, personality. I mean, she blames everybody. I think I don't know. It's just she just does not have any morals, no soul. I mean, she lacks everything. And
And
She likes
she
empathy.
doesn't. She
And
literally doesn't understand human empathy. Like
and
no, she
literally.
Bravo and NBC is just as evil as dirty because they're giving her the Vegas spinoff.
right. And you know, wait. So
Wait, she's
Candy,
getting a full-on show with that?
She's
she is.
getting
That's
like
so.
a 2-part special or something.
Right. And
That's
you know, Candy,
gross.
and if they were really good, they would have said, "Okay, we're going to give this show, but we're going to donate that."
All the proceeds to the
Come on now.
victims. Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. That's...
She probably left stolen diamonds under their pillow.
Oh my God.
I love your little low-key zingers that you
Come on
guys-
now, Miss Sandy. Okay.
Mhm.
your little
Yeah.
gems.
Mhm.
Love it. Ooh. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go eat some food and see what my mom's up to.
Okay, this was great. I love talking to the ladies. I love this.
It is so fun.
I
Yeah,
love
Mel,
it.
you need to catch some more. We have a
Yes.
good time
You-
over here.
I'm so happy that I caught this because again, I'm enjoying the season is slow, and I know it's going to
It
be
is slow.
it's going to be a headache going into the when Anne Marie will come up. But I've been wanting to talk about it, so I'm happy I caught Miss Candy's live right now,
Me too.
and I got a chance to talk to the ladies. It's fun. I love it. It's not many panels where like this, whatever. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, it's great.
Well, you are always welcome here. You pop up anytime. You open invitation. You're always welcome here.
Thank you, Candy. Thank you so much.
Yes, of
Well,
course.
you enjoy your meal and
I
wishing the
will.
best to everybody too
Yeah.
on the panel.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
night, everyone.
Bye,
See you next
everybody.
time.
Good
Bye.
night. Thank you so much. Shout out to my beautiful, amazing panel. Thank you, Mel NYC Reviews. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, RoboBeth. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Sandy. Bye, Kyle. Thank you, everybody in the chat box. I love you guys. As always, take care of yourself and each other. And I'm going to have the link to the support hotline. I'm going to add that to the description box. Again, if you are struggling, if you know anybody who is struggling, you are not alone. Please be sure to reach out for help. It's the it's the bravest, strongest thing you can do, okay? Sending everybody so much love. Please take care of yourself. I love you guys and happy holidays. Bye. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. All right. I love you guys. Bye.